everyone. Welcome to all of you who will join us in a little bit. I'm quite fine if I'm talking to myself for 30 minutes. This is probably going to live on somewhere quite soon. But anyway, I just want to hop in and thank everyone who has been sharing things from the Influencer's Corner, who has been watching things, who's been telling me thank you, who's been doing all of those great things. It means a lot to me that I was able to put the show on in the first place, and that there are now people who are enjoying it and seeing the fruits of my labor and getting to meet all these awesome people. So, let's see. I just wanted to share my story, how I got here, how I had success with a coach, and all of those great things. So, I'm not going to start at the beginning of my life or the beginning of when I decided I wanted a freelance job. I wanted to start at the beginning of when I realized I had a job that I just straight up did not like. That was early 2015. I was working in an insurance company, taking claims, which is not fun. If you have ever been in a car accident and had to call people, you don't know what's going on with your insurance policy yourself. So you're probably frustrated and you're without a car and all these sorts of things. So I was getting all this angriness and all this negativity on the phone every day. And it's just like, it's not my thing. It's not how I live. I don't like being yelled at and screamed at. I can deal with tough love, but I can't deal with like just being snippy all the time. So it was just like, hey, what can I do that's not this? That I can, be around happy people and work with lovely people and people who are nice and fun. And, hey, everyone. Hey, Karen. And so that's when I said, hey, I need to find something that makes me more profitable, where I can be more in control of what I'm doing, who I'm working with, and all these great things. So I started looking for things. I started testing out, like, different strategies, like, new things to do, definitely, like, what can I do to make money? What can I do for a career that it's something that I actually really want to do? I found a coding course and said, Aaliyah, you've been around your computers your whole life. I literally don't remember not having a computer in my house forever. So my dad was a computer science major, and he used to build computers for fun. So I'm just like, why did you never try this before? I have no idea why I never tried it before, but I ended up taking my first course with Skill Crush in January 2015, and that was a web designer course. And I took it partially because I had a graphic design background. I had a really, really healthy graphic design minor in college. By healthy means like almost as much as a major, but I just didn't take a couple of core classes, basically. And I fell in love with coding. I fell in love with every part of it. Coding was only one part of the course, but it's like, that's my favorite thing. I love it. I love the design aspects. I can already do that. Now I can adjust those to web, and now I'm like, I can code all the time. I'm going to spend every day doing that. So basically that's what I did. So I was doing this every day on lunch break at work. I was doing this after work, at night. So staying up till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was doing it on the weekends. Like, that was my life for the entire period of time that I was learning. It's not really quite different from how I live right now, honestly. But yeah, so from there, from my first course, which ended in 3 months, I just kept on coding. I found meetups that I attended. I took in-person classes. I volunteered a lot. And then I started doing little freelance bits and realized that I needed a different set of skills. And I went back to school, so-called, and took another course with Skill Crush from October of 2015 to the end of the year. And I learned how to do responsive design and development, which, long story short, it's what makes websites pretty, so that it looks good on the phone, the tablet, and all that great stuff. And that really, really worked for me, and that's like my sweet spot, and I love it, and that's what I spend time teaching at Skill Crush now. But I'll get to that in a little bit. But it's around then that I started really getting like bigger freelance jobs, like those 4K jobs and stuff like that. And not 4K jobs. Yeah, you get what I mean. Those 4-figure jobs. But yeah, and I got them from people that I knew. I'm at Christmas parties, and my first big one was at a Christmas party. It's like, hey, I hear you code. I need this massive site. So it's like, okay, great, I can do that. And that's how I started finding my first clients and getting referrals from there. And that's really how it happened. It's literally who you know, and just meeting people and talking about what you're doing and all that great stuff. And then people will, say, and then that's how you get your clients, and that's how you work with people, and that's really how you get started. There's a lot of people who do the Upwork game, but that wasn't working for me. I didn't really put a lot of effort into it. So I really went after these in-person clients and got into that whole game. And then from there, I just kept going at it, kept freelancing. And about 6 months later, I was offered a position at Skill Crush, a part-time position as a contractor, to teach in the front-end program, which is basically what my sweet spot I was talking about, responsive stuff and everything like that. So that's what I quit my job on June 1st of 2016 and started Skill Crush the very next day. And that gave me a lot more time to work with my freelance clients, build sites and stuff like that, in addition to working at Skill Crush. I no longer had an hour and a half each way commute, which is awesome. Like, that's just amazing. I was working from home. I was going to the gym. I was not eating out of vending machines. So it was just everything for me to get to that point. Thanks so much. So it was just really a lot to get to that point. And I loved it, but I'm figuring out all the things, and trying to work more towards a niche and working with creatives, which was really important to me. And I was getting questions more not can you build me a site, but like, how did you get here? How did you quit your job? How are you freelancing full time? Like, all that kind of stuff. And I didn't really know what to do with it, but I really liked the questions, and I really like felt compelled to answer them and to walk them through things and help them. And it's like, hey, this is what happened with me, and I think this would work really well with you. But it wasn't like anything that I was really committed to or anything really serious. But towards the end of the year, I started getting more of those, and I'm thinking more about my next steps, because it's December and you're thinking about what are you going to do with the rest of your life, or next year at least. And it was weighing on me. And then on the other side of it, so I'm going to start talking about my coach. I kept seeing this woman's name pop up all over the place. I was looking into something on legalizing my business, and ran into Christina Scalera. And it just felt like there's some way that we're going to work together at some point and some time. And she's from Atlanta, and I'm in Atlanta as well. She's in Atlanta, and I'm in Atlanta as well. So it was weighing on me. And I kept seeing her name. I'm on her email list, and she sends an email, something about, what do you want to spend your next 6 months doing? What do you want your business to look like in 6 months? And da-da-da. So clicked on the email. It was an application to apply for a program. And I applied, and I heard back from her a few days later, and she told me about the incubator, which I was a part of along with Lindsay Lucas, who you'll get to see later on today. And there was 5 other ladies. So there were 7 in total of us that ended up joining this group. So what it is we all had weekly coaching calls where we really bonded and got to know each other, and I still talk to them all on a weekly basis. At least once a week, I talk to just about everyone in that group. And we got one-on-one calls twice a month with Christina. Is basically what happened. So, and it was everything. It honestly was everything. I literally would not be on Instagram Live right now if I hadn't been in that group. I would not have done anything with the Influencers Corner or anything like that if it had not been for the Impulsion Incubator that I was a part of with Christina Scalera and all the other lovely ladies. So first off, we started exploring when I first started working with her, we started exploring what was going to be my next steps, what was going to get me up. Get me to where I wanted to go and all of these things. And so first we started playing by launching development packages, where I said, hey, this is what I do, and da-da-da, and I did calls for that, and same thing on these calls. A lot of the time people were asking me, hey, how did you start freelancing? How did you quit your job? How did you get here? And it's just, I realized I wasn't offering the right thing to people. Like, the people who were following me, my audience, all you lovely people, they weren't looking for that. Like, it's really cool and it's awesome. And I was getting asked more like, how do you put this together? How do you do this on this program? And that kind of thing. And I'm just like, all right, okay, it's about that time to start looking towards that. So I revamped, and instead of just launching development packages, I definitely still do build sites for people. Something that I will do. I don't advertise it as much. It's a lot of word of mouth still, but what I'm working on more is actually helping. It's mentoring people to freelance and doing that. So the first thing that came about was one-on-one programs. I just started offering one-on-ones with me, and that really worked. It's called the Freelance Plan. It's definitely going to be revamped and renamed at some point in time, and they're cool, and I love working one-on-one with people, but I realize that my audience might not be quite ready for that yet. They're still looking for community, which I definitely am, and I think that's a big part of why I joined the incubator, as opposed to just like looking for a coach and hiring a one-on-one coach to talk with. Like, I need people. I need different opinions. Like, I really need a voice of reason. Like the coach, I really need someone who's been there, who's like 4 or 5 steps ahead of me. But I need someone else who's just like right next to me in the trenches and doing all the things. And I wasn't having that sitting alone at my desk in my office every day. Like, that's what it was. That wasn't happening. I had great people that I work with on a regular basis. Skill Crush. Definitely talk to them, and all that stuff. And I have some great friends there. But when I wasn't on in that capacity, and I'm thinking about my next steps, like, a lot of it was me sitting at my desk, typing away and being at the computer and all that stuff like that. So groups programs are like really important to me, and they're going to be more important, and I love one-on-one connections with people, and those are really, really awesome, but I feel like starting them at a group level is so much safer, and so much like where I want to be. So definitely I'm all for like making personal connections with people, but I'm really big on like making sure you have a band of people around you, a tribe of people around you, and that's a lot of what I got out of the incubator. So, and that's a lot of what I was hearing from them as well. Like, they're listening to me talk, and they're like, hey, Leah, this may be something more on level with what you should be doing. So I launched the freelance library from there. That was my next step, and that was all about offering resources to people who, and that's, you know, one of those things I'm asked about, like, how did you do this? I was like, well, I use this and this and this and this resource. So in the freelance library, I basically package it all up, like whatever topic you're looking for. Like I'm drafting one on copywriting right now. And if you want to know like how to write your about page, where do you go for advice on how to write your about page? I give you 4 or 5 resources on that, as opposed to having you spend 2 hours on Google or Pinterest to find it. And that's really, really working for me right now, and it's like a great first step. It's like a great first like introduction to the world of freelancing. It's what a lot of people's looking for, so I'm really excited that I offer that. But yeah, and oh gosh, excuse me, so many words, so much time. I'm just, yeah, one sec. So yeah, I feel like that's more in line with what I want to be doing, and that is something that I think I heard that from Christina like in month 1, but it took until like month 4 for me to get around my head that that's what I needed to do, which is really funny. But there's so many things that I'm doing now that I wasn't doing 6 months ago, that I wasn't doing a year ago, that are so much more in line with where I want to go. The influencer series, that was something that like literally terrifies me to email people and ask them to do something for me. And I'm like, why do you want to say yes? Like, why? And then I realized they just want to pour into people, same the way I want to pour into people. It's just that they've been doing it for a little bit longer, and they have a little bit more success than me. So the very first one that I did, which I'm super excited about, was a blog post that went live in May, which I made it really easy for them to do, to join, and I was so excited about it. Basically, I just asked them what's one thing they wish they did earlier in their business, and I compiled it into this really awesome article. And then the thing that I'm doing currently, which you all have been seeing, is the Influencers Corner, which I'm so excited about. And that, again, was an idea straight out of my coach. She's like, hey, you just did this really great article, keep it going, keep the momentum up. What's the next thing that you can do? Videos are so awesome right now. Like I said, there's no better way, I think I said this in my email to anyone who's on that list, there's no better way to connect with people than like actually looking at them and talking to them, which is what I'm sort of kind of doing right now. So the Influencers Corner, which I had to ask people for more things. I had to ask them for their time and to like get dressed in the morning and turn on your computer and like have a babysitter around or whatever it is, have something going on so that we could talk for 15 minutes and I can put this video online. So I was really scared to do that, and I had a lot of really awesome people say yes, and I had some people connect other people to me and get it going that way. Like it's just amazing just to see the kind of people I got to work with, the kind of people I got to talk to, and the kind of people I got to share. And there's some people who had never met or heard of these people before. I'm like, these are awesome people. Like, this is part of your research. So getting to know what these people are doing and who these people are, and just learning from them. And I'm so excited about that. So that is currently what's going on with my life, is launching that series. So there's 3 more videos. There's one coming out today, Lindsay Lucas, Jessica Sansbury will go out tomorrow, and the day on Monday, Raina Pomeroy will come out. And then I'm not going to stop talking to you all, of course. I still have some great things coming up the rest of the summer. So I have a program that I'm launching next week that I will be talking to you all about. I'm really excited about that. And if you haven't got to see the Influencers Corner yet, definitely sign up at the link that's in the bio, and you get to catch up on all the videos when have already happened. So I've spoken with Jessica Rasdell, Ashley Bowden, Danny Lynn Fountain, my memory is shot, Megan Maydell I spoke to Dominique Broadway. Oh my gosh, that is 5. Who else did I speak to? I'm pulling it up, and I hope they don't feel bad that I have a really, really horrible memory. I'm so sorry about that I can't remember. Who else did I speak to? Oh, here's my email. Oh God, Erin Flynn. I was so excited to speak to her because she's a web developer, and I've been following her for quite a while. And a lot of the students at Skillcrush talk about her because she's so awesome. Lauren Carnes, that was like everything. She's so fun to talk to, and she just knows so much, and her feed is amazing. So if you're like already on Instagram, go check her out as well. See all the things that she talks about. She's really, really great at lives and stories, and she does those a bit. Sarah Franadina from One Woman Shop. She's really cool. I spoke to her too. And that one went live yesterday, so definitely check that out. Yeah, and then I'm probably gonna be a little bit quiet next month because I'm traveling over to Europe to visit family and stuff. But I would not have been able to do that like whatsoever a year ago. Okay, maybe like 14 or 15 months ago when I was still in my full-time job, I wouldn't have been able to travel to Europe for 6 weeks. I might not have been able to afford to travel over to Europe at all. I'm going for my great-grandmother's 100th birthday, which is like crazy cool. And to think that like there's people in my family my age who can't go because, you know, they can't take off 2 weeks or 3 weeks and travel for 10 hours and pay, you know, like it's just not feasible for everyone. So I'm really excited that I'm in a position that it's not as stressful for me to go. So that is my life right now. And I know that without my coach that I still would be like going through the motions. I'd still be working in my business every day instead of on my business. And like I wouldn't have all these great business friends around that are friends and as well. So I would still be sitting alone in my bubble and just like not communicating with people and just like working 14 hours a day but not having a lot to show for it at the end of the day. Like task work is one thing, but like showing that, hey, I did this great thing that's going to live on past today, or that's going to set up this thing to happen. Like these are things that were really hard for me to grasp, on my own. And yeah, so that's my story, just about in a nutshell. If there are any questions, like ever, I'm always really open. I will read your DM or your email and respond to you. But yeah, so I really appreciate you all sticking around for the Influencers Corner and all that great stuff. And I will see you around. I hope you have a great, great, great rest of your Friday and a great weekend. Have a great one. Bye, everyone.